Well, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the Daily Six. So glad you're here. And look who's here with me. We're still sitting around this table wearing the same clothes we wore last week, spending some quality time with you in the Bible. Today, we're going to be in Hebrews chapter 12. So would you get it open? Get Hebrews 12 open and come on with us. All right, so all last week, we were in Hebrews chapter 11, and really we listened to some stories, testimonies of how my beloved friends here, you guys, your faith has been built by your understanding of the Word of God. People, their stories speaking to you and challenging you. And so Hebrews 12 now gives us a therefore. One of my mentors used to tell me, anytime you see the word therefore in the Bible, it's therefore, right? Yeah. So do you see it there in Hebrews 12, verse 1? Therefore, since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses. Now pause there for a second. What's the therefore? It's pointing back to Hebrews 11. Mm-hmm. All these stories, these examples that Sherry and Melissa and Mason gave us last week. And if you missed last week on the Daily Six, seriously, stop the video now. Go back and get it, because that was just an amazing, especially Thursday and Friday, you guys being really vulnerable about your own stories and your journey in this, right? So because of that, because faith is built from the stories of the Word of God, as we look at these people, we let their stories pierce us. Therefore, because of that, now what do? Since we're surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, in other words, all these people that have been this example, this witness to us, because of that, therefore, let us throw off everything that hinders. Let us throw off the sin that so easily entangles. Let us run with perseverance the race that's marked out for us. And let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author, perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame. And he sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. And so consider him who endured such opposition from sinful men, so that you will not grow weary, you will not lose heart. So in the context of us building our faith from the Word of God, from these stories in the Bible, and the therefore, so now let us run the race. Let's fix our eyes on Jesus. Let's persevere. Right. How does this speak to you guys? What has this said to you?
Live a life of bold faith. You know, Jesus could have come as, if it was just a check the box salvation, then Jesus could have shown up just like Adam at age 33, died on the cross, and we'd be saved. But no, he modeled a bold faith life. He lived faith out. Yeah. Why don't we do the same? Let's live it out.
Yeah.
One thing that stuck out to me a lot, I kept highlighting this word that I saw. The word training came in my head, and you're thinking about this and following the Christian life. Yeah. But we're always growing, right? Yeah. We're always working. This is a journey. It's not a one and done. And it talks about no discipline is enjoyable while it's happening. It's painful. But afterwards, there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way. And so that training really came to my head. I'm like, what is that? So I was kind of trying to research. And in some of my, I always say my cliff notes, but some of my things, it talks about the Christian life involves focus and training. It requires us to give up whatever hinders or endangers us. And even then, I was really feeling convicted and thinking about, okay, what can I do to continue this journey of faith and walk? And what do I need to give up? What do I need to get rid of? And for months now, I've been thinking, I need to get off my phone. I need to slow down on my phone. And so as I'm reading this in my Cliff Notes, it says, what's some of the things you could do, such as continually checking your messages, busted, or, spending hours watching shows or playing video games or non-essential shopping. I'm like, okay. So, but this is great. You think about that. We are continuously training. We're running a race, right? We need to build up. We need to build up our endurance. We need to push through. We need to study, read the Word, keep focusing. And so I thought that really spoke to me.
It's either 1 Timothy or 2 Timothy chapter 3 tells us that the Word of God is useful for training, for correcting, for building a life of righteousness.
Yeah.
And I connect on what you're saying, Sherry, to something Melissa shared with us last week, that she's going through this really, really hard time in her life. And she was real vulnerable with it. I think it was on Thursday last week. You shared that with us.
Yeah.
And yet in the midst of that suffering, you pressed in. I have to be in the Word of God every single day.
That's right.
Well, that's kind of like going to the gym,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? If you're gonna work out, if you're gonna train physically, nobody really wants to do it.
Right.
It hurts. It's painful. You're never in the mood.
Yeah.
But the person who's gonna, you ran a
Yeah.
half marathon
Yeah.
one time, and
Yeah.
you trained and you trained and you trained.
A lot of
You didn't want to,
Right.
but you did.
Right.
Right.
For
Same thing
sure.
with spiritual life,
Mm.
and the Word of God is that very thing.
Well, even in chapter 6, when we were back in Hebrews chapter 6, it talks about the solid food. And we talked about that in our small group, about, I think you even brought that up in our small group about, we need to get off of the milk and really be more in solid food. In verse 14 and 6, I wrote it down in my notes. It said, solid food is for those who are mature, who through training have the skills to recognize right from wrong. And so even through all this training, we're going to learn the rights and the wrongs, what to do to help, get rid of the temptations and what do we need to do. And so
if you haven't picked up on the theme, the last week and this week is really all about being in the Word of God and why, what it does for us in building our faith. And it is a mission of training in your life. Do we want to grow up? Do we want to be mature?
Yeah.
Well, we got to do the heavy lift of being in the Word.
Yeah.
So what I want to challenge you guys to do today, we want to challenge you to do today, is give God 6 more minutes. And right now, would you ask the Lord to give you a map in your mind, your day, your rhythms? What does training in the Word of God look like for you? And tomorrow, we'll ask our dear friends here, what are they doing? What's the actual rhythm of their life? So give God 6 more minutes, ask the Lord to show it to you for you, and then come back tomorrow, and we'll talk about how we do it here, right here on Daily 6. We'll see you then.